Welcome everyone. Today we have a Wolcen guide for sockets, gems, and well, everything about that. So let's get right into it. As you might have noticed, we can have sockets on the rings, on the belts, on the amulets, and on the pieces over here with the helmet, the chest, and the legging. Also the shield offhand and also the main weapon. Keep in mind, if it's a rare weapon, if it's a rare or legendary weapon, you can still socket them, but if it's unique, you can't socket it. So for example, I have a legendary shield here with massive block chances. I can roll for the sockets up to 3. And depending what I get, there you go, I got lucky with 3. Sometimes you want to keep rolling because there's a variety of sockets that's associated to each of the equipments. We'll go through that. With the shield, you can find support and defensive. This ranges from defensive 1 to defensive 3 and also support 1 to support 3. The best ones I've found is actually, well, depends on your build. I'll touch on it, but the best ones should really go with your build. For me, I'm looking for block chances, I'm looking for physical damage lifesteal, I'm also looking for global life leech. So I want to regen enough life, I want to block damage, I want to sustain myself. That's my physical build. With the belts, I believe you can also get the support and defensive on the belts, and similar for, actually, I need to double check that. I don't want to fix this one though, so what I'm going to do is, just so I can double check, I'm going to get a belt. Let's see what else we can get. I believe so, you can get both, but let's see, maybe, yeah, belts should be able to go defensive. No, belts only support. Damn, I want the money too. Okay, belts is only support. We know that, we did it the hard way. So how does it work is there are certain pieces that only have support, which is the belts, the rings, and also the amulets. The offhand can have support and defensive, and the gears, you have the helmet, the chest piece, and the pants can only have defensive. And the helmet can only have 1, chest can have 3, offhand can have 3, and the pants can have 2. Everything else have 1 slots available, so you can roll for those. Lastly, the weapon can roll for 3 slots as well. The best rolls for weapons will be flat damage. Either flat damage for attack, I think that's attack 1, or you can go for flat damage for spells, which is the second one. And you want to make sure you target the right spells. If you're going for elemental or occult spells, so those are over here, so I'll show you those. If you're going for elemental damage, that's fire, force, and lightning, you want to get those spells because you have perks that increase elemental damage. If you're going for the debuff with either secret or shadow, you want to jam those in for the flat damage because you have damage boost for crit. One of the most common ones that people can use for boost of damage for spells is the occult affliction. For this one, the damage is increased for each stack of curse stacks. If you're going for the debuff mage like we did with the other build, you'll have 30 stacks of debuff, which increased enemy damage by 210%, I believe. Yeah, 7% each with 30%. And that's on top of the existing curse debuff that increase enemy damage taken. So mages can really stack up the damage. Now, what are the best sockets for each of them? For me at the moment, as I mentioned earlier, it depends on your build. For me, I'm looking for a lot of the leech. And here I have support. Keep in mind, if I'm putting a gem in, I need to make sure where it goes. It has to go to the right socket. So here I want this to go to support 1, so I can have the 1% life leech. I believe this is the highest, and we can just put it in. And this is with item with multiple sockets. You want to target where you put it, because if you put it around, well, it's not going to give you the right attributes. Followed by that, certain builds might want HP. For my bruiser chest, if you look at my particular talent tree here, I have the salvatory ankle. Basically, whatever chest piece I wear will give me a special effect. For my particular chest piece, the effect on the bruiser chest is that I get health regen, and I gain a lot of health regen for having the bruiser chest piece. Pretty much 1 health regen per HP. So what I want to do is I want to get some HP on this if possible. But that's not necessary if I'm not surviving with life regen. So what I want to do is I want to replace this chest with the heavy chest, and the heavy chest will give me resistance and basically double the resistance for us. And with, actually no, it's more than double, yeah, it's 2 times the resistance. So basically a chest of resistance, I'll show you guys over here. I did have one, right? Where's that chest? Yeah, this is a heavy one. So You can see that this chest has 404, 404. What a funny code, right? 404 resistance not found. So with this chest, I have 404 resistance, but if I equip it, I'm looking at 1200 resistance gain because of it, because I have the benefits. This is when I want to make 3 sockets on the chest and actually add resistance if I can. So this will be different resistance I can add it to. And for this one, I want to add flat HP on it, because more HP I can get more regen with my perk. So those are some insights, but of course there's other ones. You might want to go for critical chances, critical damage. Critical hit damage is actually really good, simply because critical damage deals with spells and attack. If you play the hybrid ranger build, you might be doing both. You might do spell damage, you might be doing the attack damage. So sometimes you can go hybrid with critical hit damage, but other times if you know you're just doing attack or spells, the critical hit specifies which one you go for. The range spenders will be attack, and you want that. And for the spells, you want to go for the spell critical hit damage. And critical hit is one of the highest multipliers for damage. And you can remove the sockets, you can buy gems, and I don't recommend buying gems that early, because in the late game I heard you can fuse gems and you can get better drops. Currently I'm dropping tier 7 gems, and the highest tier of gems is tier 9, so keep that in mind. Lastly, because you can't socket unique items, they will come with the sockets that they came with, and with an unsockable item with this one, if I put it in, I'll put in any of those. Well, you can't socket. See? Oh, this is remove gem. Let me go here. So you will say the unique cannot socket. Yeah, you can't re-roll those when the sockets are locked. Those we can't roll for now. Maybe in the late game we can still roll, but for now we can't do it. So what I'll do for the final part of this video is I'll be socketing my build. So right now I want to show you guys, my build has, where is it? My build has a tech leech of 4%. Let's see what happens when I socket enough of my gems. Let's go with one here. 1% life leech from physical damage. Okay, it's not showing here. It should be showing, but it's not showing. That's okay, I have another way. So we can see that for this one, we actually have global life leech for defensive 3. Let's look for some defensive 3, which is this one. Now it goes for 5%. Defensive 3. Oh, I should have made this bigger. Actually, now I take the 2 defensive 3. It's good enough. So now I'm 6.8%. And lastly, I want some block. So defensive 1, defensive 2. So block is defensive 1. So I'm gonna go for the 7% one. Where do we go? So to put this in. And also I'm gonna change my defensive 2, because, well, block efficiency is not good. One thing about block efficiency and block chances is that block chance adds up, while block efficiency is kind of like, it builds on your existing one, so it's hard to get high ones. If my block efficiency is 20% at the moment, because of the shield, if I add block efficiency in, which I can show you guys, I will actually get the percentage of the existing one. So I will get about 7% of the 20%, I believe. Let's give it a try. So, put this in. Yeah, 7% of the 20%. That's about 1.5%. That's how it works. And of course I don't want this. And that's gonna cost me. Gosh, I need my friends to help with my gold. Oh, 5,000. He's rich. I'll ask him for gold after. This is my online account, that's why I was so poor here. So what I want to do is, I want to route this into defensive 1. There you go.
I can't do that.
I'm gonna get my gems in for higher block. And yes, now my block chance have exceeded 100%, but keep in mind, this is because I have the perk that gives me 50% block when I don't block. When I take a block, it will take 10 seconds for this one to regen. And what that's going to do is, actually it takes more than 10 seconds. It takes about 15 seconds to regen. And if I block again, this goes away again. So I want higher always block rate. So I'll be building my block rate. I'm looking for more support 1, looking for defensive 1 and support 3. So let's go over there. So defensive 1, let's see if I have any good gems. Likely I don't have anything special. Yeah, I haven't been finding any great gems, but that's okay. I'll make use for now. Both are 6%. Might as well use this one. So blocking is defensive 1. This is defensive 1. Let's put this in. I have support 1 and support 3. So critical chance score is actually not bad. Let's see. I do want the life leech from physical attack, or physical damage, and that's support 1. Oh, is there a smaller one? Yeah. All of those gives 1% life leech. And for this one goes in. Lastly, support 3. Anything great with support 3? Nothing particular, to be honest. I think I go for the critical. Yeah, nothing too great. Transfer time, I don't need transfer time. So this is when you start to consider. Is my build heavy on damage or does I need debuffs? If I want debuffs, I can go for the status chance on effort damage. I can go for the particular damage I have. Sometimes I can go for, curse because I want to make sure I get the curse in. And for this one, we just go for the critical hit damage. There you go. All done. So, after doing that, also I have a ring to put in. Oh, forgot about that. So this one also gives me a critical hit. Let's get more critical hit. So after getting that, my critical hit is now 48%. I think before getting those sockets in it, I was looking at, how much was I looking at? I was looking at a little lower than that. Maybe a little higher. But yeah, I wasn't looking at that much better of the rates, but the biggest factor is I have the dodge chance much further over 50% now. And also, well, overall I have so much global life leech. I have 6.8 here, and I also have a bunch of the physical life leech. So now I'm stealing about at least 10% of the damage I deal, and I deal about 100k damage every hit on enemy with a crit. So hopefully you guys like this particular socket and gem guide. I know I did go a little further as a demonstration, but keep in mind you can't socket the unique ones, and for this gem it has 2% life leech, but because you can't socket it, sometimes this is not as good as the other ones because, well, its biggest factor is life leech, and if I can't life leech, the HP is so-so for me. So yeah, we did go a little sidetrack with tailoring the build, but this shows you how sometimes you can pick different gems and sometimes you can socket them. Keep in mind, it is very expensive to remove a gem. So the best way to do it is to socket the cheap one that you don't need, and you don't have to remove it. But if you do have to remove it, it will be a little costly at least for now. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this guide. I'll make more guides to come.